How you doing?
I'm all right.
I just look. I got to just jump in here and let you know I am having the most Paul Mecurio day anyone could have. The world is against me today. Everybody is stupid. I've run into more problems with more people for basically, they're always trying to help. That's what it is. They're trying to help, all right? And they can't help. They don't know what I want. They don't know what I'm thinking, but they think they do. So they're going to help, right? I've watched promotions fall apart today. I got the greatest cable guy in the world who comes over and he starts working on something. He's trying to get everything to work. We've been having phone problems like crazy. Well,
this is at your house.
This is at my house, all right? And what do I get, all right? He starts dealing with Comcast. He's a Comcast guy dealing with Comcast, and they're doing to him the same thing they would do to me if I was calling Comcast. And he looks at me and goes, it doesn't matter who calls. You could be a repair guy, you could be a customer, right? They just don't know what they're doing.
Why does he need to call them? Doesn't he have like an inside line?
No, he has to go through the same system, and he needed somebody to turn something on or switch something off.
But how you not that? You got to have like a direct. That's
right. One would think. One would think, but why would a little company like Comcast even think that way?
Because they all suck. That's why. How did the cable thing resolve itself? What was?
Fortunately enough for me, this cable guy came over a couple of problems ago, right? And we've been having this problem with our phones, and it's like if you call my house, the phone rings once, and then it disconnects you, right? And then if you call back, is a chance you'll get through, but there's a chance it may ring 3 times and it'll disconnect you. Right.
But that's exciting, though. It makes life interesting. It keeps you on your toes a little bit.
Yeah. Honey, I've been in a car crash. Oh, I'm sorry. The plane's going down the field. Hung up.
I'm going to use smoke signals. That'll be more.
Hell of a lot easier.
We had that same problem. You have the triple play thing where you get everything in one.
Yep.
We have that. It's a different system, but like same thing. The phone suddenly just stopped, and we had to have somebody. But we didn't have to have a guy come over. There was just some woman, just hit a few buttons and boom, 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 and then we had the telephone, which was great because the only calls we've been missing.
I'm sorry. I talked to.
No, the only calls we've been missing and getting on that phone are telemarketer calls. So all we did was open ourselves up for like more annoying calls that we're already getting on our cell phone.
Well, I have a new best friend on my phone, right? The RNC. Right? The RNC calls me once or twice a day.
Yeah.
You would think by now they'd get the message, right? Because if the RNC called, I wouldn't answer the phone either. So.
Does Kimberly Guilfoyle call you and go, why aren't you answering your phone? Because the socialists have taken over the phone company. Wow. I know her a bit. I was on some panels with her at Fox News, and that was like a whole other level of.
Look, I hate getting political, in front of other people because there's one thing that I've got to say, and I'm not sure if you've seen it, and it's not from Trump, it's not from the RNC, it's from some PAC, right? But that Trump and the RNC are just going, right? So, have you seen this Biden ad where he's, getting in somebody's face and talking about all of the degrees he has and where he was in college and how he graduated and the scholarship and all this stuff? This happened sometime ages ago. It's 70s something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they dug this up. And they are, and they also have like a couple of news people coming on afterwards carrying the story of how he basically lied and he didn't have those degrees and he didn't finish top in his class and all that stuff. And they have these 2 news reports talking about how he basically lied, right? Which really, when you think about it, is kind of the pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah.
Really, of all the things you're going to go after him for, I wouldn't go after him for lying. I really wouldn't go after him for lying, right? Especially since the Republicans just put out that report on the Russian thing and going like, yeah, everybody was lying.
Yeah, exactly. It just it's a 3-page report. There's the letter L on one page, I on the second page, and E on the third. I like that Melania is doing another anti-bullying speech, which I imagine on cyberbullying, social media, which I wonder if she like tries it out on Donald and go, hey, Donald, can I try this out on you? What's it about cyberbullying? No, no good. You don't want to try it out on me. I'm the guy that invented it. Try moving on. The whole thing is a circus. The whole thing is
it's such a circus. It really is. It's
and and by the way,
we don't have to both do this at the same time, by the way.
Yeah, I gotta air out my breasts. I need air. And the doctor said get more air. That's a big thing when you get COVID. You need air on your boobs. Even if you're a man.
Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to ask you. I'm sorry. Hang on. I'm sorry to interrupt you once again. But for a guy who has COVID, who really is tired often because of it, and I understand that, right? And who really isn't working right now, you're the busiest son of a bitch I've ever tried to get a hold of.
Oh, because of COVID. That's not true. You asked me if I could do this a couple of days ago, and I said no because I had to, I had to go visit somebody, and I had some people over. The COVID thing, like I haven't seen anybody in like 2 months. So, like tomorrow I'm going to take my mother to the doctor, which should be hilarious and a lot
I can't wait till next week.
Oh my God. It would be a shame if some cotton balls got stuffed down her throat. Oh my God. It's like, I'm just going to open the door, kick her in the ass, close the door and say, here, you deal with her for an hour. I don't know what they're checking. They're checking her eyes, her ears, her, ability to make everybody around them feel small and insignificant. So I have to take her. She can't, she got a new hearing aid, $1,500. And guess what? Lost it. She lost her hearing aid. Yeah. So
didn't get it's in the house somewhere, but who can find anything there?
Exactly. We're back
I've learned.
Right. Yeah, we're back to hang on a second here. These are the kind of messages she leaves. It's like she's on Mars and she's trying to yell back to Earth. These are the kind of hang on. Oops, no shit. I didn't want to do that. I just called her. Oof. Yeah, that's about right. That's the message. That was the message. You ready?
Right.
I'm going to play it again.
All I heard was a breath and a...
Yeah. Apparently she was being murdered while she left the message. Or this is to get a coherent message from her. By the way, this says unable to transcribe this message. It's an iPhone can change that. So those are the kind of messages that or it's like, apparently she's just taken the phone and just stuffed it in. So those are the kind of messages I get from her.
Sure, she's not butt dialing you?
Yeah, exactly. So I have to take her to the doctor tomorrow. Wait, here's another one.
Hi, Paul. I've been thinking about you. How are you? I haven't heard from you in a while.
Liar! You're a liar! I called you and left you a message. See, this is what she has me doing. I'm yelling at her through the messages. This is, yeah. So you will see me in the news tomorrow.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know if they're going to let me do these from jail, but, and so, yeah. Oh, and then this afternoon, I tried to be nice to my wife. She's like, I had to go to the hardware store to buy something because I got to fix something at the house. And then she's like, can we stop at the thrift store? So I had to go to the thrift store with my wife, and I almost bought a $3 pair of boots, but the right one didn't fit correctly. Now that's what I'm thinking. These are high-end, expensive, like hiking boots, but they're used, right? And they're $3. They're normally like, I don't know, $150. They were 12. I'm a size 11. I put the 12, and as I'm putting them on, I can feel the foot lice crawling all over me because they're. I'm like, really, for $3? I'm gonna have. I'm going to spend $70 in antifungal cream for the next 6 months. And then I have to wear, I wear orthotics. I got flat feet, so I put them in the thing. And then the right one's got a big lump underneath it. And my wife figured that maybe somebody bent the shoe or bent the shaft or something. So I didn't get it. But I got to sit like a 6-year-old and watch my wife buy a used game of Scrabble. This is a conversation I had to have. Do we have Scrabble at home? I don't know. Can you just shoot me now? I have no. And then what else did she buy? Oh, we had a big conversation about whether this used pan cooking sheet would be good for pizza. That was a 5-minute conversation. And then there was no traffic for me to walk in front of. So I pretty much got screwed both ways on that. And then I came back, and then I got myself ready for the big show, you know, because I want to look presentable and nice for you.
Yeah.
You wore a collared shirt. And
Well, I came from work, right? You came from a thrift store.
Exactly. This is dressing up at the thrift store. This is showing off right here. This is highfalutin.
Do you know I get crap at work for dressing for work? I mean, I work in an industry where everybody's in T-shirts and shorts all the time, right? You know, and I wear a shirt and, you know, like chinos or something like that. Chinos.
Man, you go to work.
Chinos anymore? Khakis. I wear khakis.
Just for people at home, he did not say Cheetos. He did not say the little orange stuff. And by the way, be honest. I've been in your studio a lot. You go to work, you're dressed like the Monopoly guy. You have a tuxedo on, a top hat, an ascot. Your ascot has an ascot. I've seen you fire an intern for not properly folding your ascot. You're an animal. Let's be honest, all right? No, I get it. You like going.
I wasn't prepared for that. I wasn't prepared for that, but I do have a picture sort of describing what you're saying.
Are you really?
Oh, yeah. So when this is done, I will, as you're having this conversation, I will plug it in right in the middle there, right? So that you can see me in my, and I have a smoking jacket, all right? Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
And notice as you said it, you went like this.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Right. I have a smoking jacket. My father-in-law, who was a ridiculously handsome man and well-groomed and
well. I met him. I think I had.
You had dinner with him, with Harold, right?
The whole dinner, he's leaning over to me, going, "Not a big fan of John," and I'm like, "This is awkward. I just met you, man. Maybe you should talk to your daughter about this, because he's like, oh, the whole radio thing, and who dresses up for work? Like that's all he kept saying to me. And I'm like, look, this is weird, buddy. I just met you, but you are a handsome man, and you should have a talk show. That's what I said to him. Or a game show. He's like, got a game show host thing.
Yeah,
but anyway,
I mean, he was a great-looking guy, and was a dresser, right? And had more than one smoking jacket. And right, yeah, and he was the king of the ascot as well. My in-laws, when they would go someplace, it's like, oh, this is where the time machine dropped them, right? Because my mother-in-law was always in hats and gloves, right? My father-in-law was always in a jacket and slacks and a shirt with either it was a band collar shirt, that's when it was feeling really cool and groovy, right? Or if it was like a relaxed dress-up thing, then it was ascot, right? And you would see him, and it just played. Except for one day, we're having a party at my house.
Yeah.
Right? It's at a Christmas party. There's a bunch of people, right? My father-in-law is there in a red velvet smoking jacket with red satin lapels, white shirt, red ascot.
Of course.
And a friend turns to me and goes, who's the queen in the smoking jacket? And I just look at him and go, my father-in-law. And the noise that came out of that person was the whole, there had to be 30 people in the house, and everybody turned over the laugh that came out of that person.
I like that he has two smoking jackets in case one catches on fire.
Oh, no, I think there probably were 3 or 4. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. I would not be a bit surprised.
Does he walk around with like his hand in the outer pocket like this?
Yep.
Like,
and then one day, him and my mother-in-law show up at the house, and they said, we brought you something. And they have this big box, right? And it's all wrapped, and there was no occasion at all. and I open it up, and there's this smoking jacket in it, and it's black velvet with satin lapels, and and those frog things. That's what they call them. Those sort of knotty things that with the buttons, right? That you see on British uniforms all the time. That's how it is, right? And I open it up, and it's made by a company that a friend of mine in New York owns, and I'm like. Could it be any better? Not only did I get a smoking jacket, but I got one from a friend who I hadn't spoken to in years. And when I called him and told him, he just totally freaked out. Like, what are the chances?
Do you still have the smoking jacket?
God, yeah.
Next
That's
one.
the picture I'm going to send you that I'm going to put up here.
Next Zoom, you got to wear it the whole time.
Okay. All right. Next Zoom, I'll wear it the whole time. All right.
You have a pipe? Do you have a pipe?
And I'll wear that in the next Zoom as soon as you put something on the friggin' wall behind you. People say that to me all the time. I watched that video. Paul doesn't have a lot of stuff on.
Yeah, I'll put the cigar here. How about that?
Do you smoke cigars?
Yeah, I like cigars.
You do? Okay. I'm not saying I did for years, but then I gave it up.
Yeah. No, I like it. I don't really like it. I just like that it annoys other people. I don't really like them. They make me throw up, but I'll do it to just bring misery and pain to the rest of humanity. No, I like them. I like them on occasion outside. I can't do it inside anymore, but not a big fan in bed. Tried that. Ooh, no, doesn't go over well. Well, maybe because I lit my pillow on fire, and that whack job. That guy claims that they tested something on 1,000 people and it cures COVID.
The My Pillow guy.
Yeah, and he's got a little cross that always hangs out of his shirt.
Because Jesus saved him.
Yeah, but it's like Jesus didn't have a pillow. What are you doing? Jesus had no pillow. It was a pretty hard surface he was on. I don't think
it was. Although I think they gave him back support, because you notice they had a thing for his feet, right? and he probably got a little back support up there.
Here, how about that? That's a background.
There you go.
Huh? You gotta get something, right? Here's some printer paper. Is that good?
No.
I could. I don't know. You want to see my wife's bathing suits? I could put that.
No. Where are you? Are you in the bedroom? Are you in the kitchen? Where are you?
I'm in the bedroom.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I could
I hope
do it there with that's the headboard. That's where the cuffs go. The yeah. Anybody watching, if you want to give us suggestions, how about that? Leave comments about what you think I should have on the wall behind me. There you go.
Right.
And
by the way, speaking of people leaving comments, we did get a new name for the show. Although I'm really kind of liking two guys on Zoom.
Right.
But someone went with two guys, one cup. I was like, I don't think we're gonna go with that one.
I like that one though, because you got to really be tuned in to know what it references, and then the rest other people like, what does that mean? And then we could just tell different stories about what it means.
I have a hello for you.
Oh, okay.
From Bob Saget.
Oh yeah, my buddy Bob.
Yeah, right. We were talking about some stuff, and in the middle of it, I started telling him what we were doing. He goes, "Oh, Mecurio, I know Paul. He's a great guy." Right? Yeah. Obviously, he doesn't know you, but he says hi.
That's great. Yeah, he's a really great guy, and his comedy is dark, which is funny. Like he's not that Full House guy.
Right.
I think.
Right.
By the way, the thing that you said about who is that guy reminded me a story of my mother. Now, my mother is as older people do, that she's shrinking.
Right.
So she is slightly taller than this cigar. And the good thing about taking her to the doctor is I could literally take her on a bicycle. I just put her in my backpack and she's fine. Her little nose sticks out like a dog, getting carried through the airport. And and when I bring her on trips on the plane, I just have an emotional support letter, and I say, this is my emotional support person, and it's my mother, but there's no emotional support. And then they know I'm scamming them. Anyway, I'm rambling. So my mother is tiny, and she's got like a mole on her lip, and it's gotten, but they said it's hard to take it off. It's kind of dangerous. So it's got to be there, right?
Right. Because
And
normally old Italian women have them over here.
yeah, no, my mother's got it. Like my mother's got it. She didn't have it. You know, she's a very lovely woman back in her day, but you know, with the thing. And so my sister-in-law passes away, and they do a gathering at the house after the service, and my brother-in-law's best friend, who I'm really friendly with, you know, everybody's there, blah, blah, blah. And then my mother's there, and my mother's talking a bit. So, but when my mother talks, because she, especially in crowds, she's so vain, she won't wear the hearing aid. So when my mother talks to you, she really talks to you. This is my mother talking to you. Oh, oh, wow. Oh, wow. She goes, oh, wow, a lot, which means she can't hear a damn thing you're saying, but she thinks if she just says, oh, wow, it's
Right.
continuing conversation. So, like, if you're a normal sized person, you're kind of, this is what you're saying. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. And then like a mole, oh, wow. And then a mole, her lip, oh, wow. Right? Okay. So this is all true, right? So, you know, everybody leaves the thing, right? And now it's just a close family. And my brother-in-law's close friend, this guy Keith. And, you know, you start talking about, oh, you know, so-and-so came, haven't seen them in a while. You start to kind of
Right.
go over the day, right? And just so and such. And wow, DeBella shows up with a smoking jacket. That was weird. And, you know, and stuff like that. And then my brother-in-law's friend goes, Keith, he goes, and then who was that little, like, tiny woman who was in your face with the big black, like, giant dead snail on her lip? And I'm like, that was my mother. And he's like, oh, no. And I'm like, you're absolutely right, by the way. It is like a giant dead snail on her lip. And he just felt so bad, but it was classic. Like, he had no idea. And because he met her years ago, but hadn't. And, you know, she makes an impression mainly because she's this close to your face when you talk to her. So,
no, my mom was the same way. She just refused to get hearing aids, which definitely brought on, in all seriousness, I believe brought on the dementia that much more, right? Because she couldn't hear conversations. She was always just alone, not hearing anything, right? And, you know, but she was one of these. This is when she didn't hear you, she gave you this. It was a little head tilt.
Yeah. Yeah. And the whole time she's thinking, oh, I got to do laundry when I get home. Like, she's running probably all these monologues in her head, right? Yeah. My mother does that a little bit too, just to sort of tilt to the head and then not, you know, like a dog that hears a high-pitched whistle, you know, and as that happens. And then, so are you making any woodworking stuff, by the way?
I haven't been doing any of that because I've been dealing with the outdoors as of late, right? Because summer's coming to an end, things are dying, and I'm weeding, not weeding, but pulling out plants. Like, most of my tomato plants are over, you know, and that looks just really like, you know, really sad. So,
I mean, tomatoes, I didn't know you grow tomatoes.
I grow tomatoes. I grow salad. That's what I grow. I grow tomatoes, I grow peppers, I grow cucumbers, I grow basil.
Do you grow a sneeze guard? Do you do like the whole thing, like an entire salad bar, like you deviled eggs, everything? If I go out,
no, we don't grow deviled eggs, right? Right? Because it's so hard to get this, you know, Satan into the chicken. You know, so, but no. So you know, so that's been. And have you ever planted zucchini? Have you ever had zucchini in the backyard?
Have I ever planted zucchini?
Yeah.
No.
The plant is gigantic. It is really huge, right? And you get like maybe anywhere from, you know, depending on the plant and how you're taking care of it, you know, might get 6, maybe you get a dozen zucchinis out of the plant, right? But what happens is the leaves are so big, they hide the zucchinis. And every once in a while, I come walking out and, you know, the more water they get, the more they grow. And I'll come in the house with a baseball bat, basically. They have things like this, right? It's like, Lisa's like, don't even bring that inside. Oh, I didn't want to know about that. I ain't touching it. I ain't gonna play with it. I ain't gonna do anything. She thinks it's my dick. All right. It's so similar. All right. Just like,
it's green. It's green with warts on it.
That's it. That's it. Get that away from me.
And it's got a stem. I always said that about you. When I first saw your penis, I'm like, it has a stem. And well, you remember at the
when the hook didn't bother you.
when we were dancing for money in Camden, New Jersey. Remember those days? At the Ramrod, and
the Ramrod exists, and you know it exists. You live in New York, and you know the Ramrod exists.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
Hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you send me a few of your 14,000 framing hangings behind you, and I'll throw a couple up there. Send me that gold record. I'll throw that up there.
What that one over there? The one with the red label?
Yeah.
Kleenex. I nearly sent the computer flying. I was going to. This chair obviously tilts back, right? Yeah. And I was about to tilt back so you could see the other records that are around here. Because there's some more over. Well, that's my studio over there, and I mean there's more there. They're everywhere. I've got a shelf in the basement.
Is that another computer to your left?
That's two more computers to my left.
So what is it like commandeering the bridge of the Star Trek Enterprise? What are you doing?
It's really cool.
What are you telemarketing for Comcast? Are you doing something on the side?
I although they're both Apple computers, one is set up as a PC because there are some programs that especially audio programs that I work on, and I just prefer the PC version of the program. And the other one's just is a Mac Pro, and that's what I edit videos on and stuff like that.
Do you wear pajamas to bed?
No,
I don't.
I'm
completely naked. I go naked.
Are you? Well, you haven't got
really,
my age yet.
That's stopping your tracks.
Well, no, it's because you made me think of I don't sleep naked because and you're gonna find this out soon. You're gonna find it out real soon. Right? The older you get, the more your parts start to drop. They get lower. So I've got to be careful in shorts because they'll just come running out on their own.
Oh, yeah? Just your zucchini wants to get some sunlight? Oh,
yeah. Only one of them. The other guy's like, nah, I'm fine up here. But one of them, like, I'm going for a walk.
One of mine is actually more oblong.
Really?
Like, left one is round. The other one, it's like it's grown a sister head of some kind, so it's like oblong and it goes sideways. I don't know if it's a problem. I got to probably get it checked out.
All right, Doc. I think he's talking about testicular cancer. I think that's a good.
which is hilarious.
Who doesn't love talking about that?
Well, I would like to see you in a smoking jacket without pants on to see what your drop is like. That's my
there you go. There, that's it. I want you to think about that for the rest of the week.
Oh, I will.
Because next week when I have the smoking jacket on, I won't be wearing anything below that.
Yes. And I'm going to make sure I get a giant mole attached to my lip. All right, buddy.
All right. When do you have any idea when they're going to put an audience back on Colbert?
No, it's kind of all up to it's beyond even CBS. I think it's Viacom and yeah, I don't know. I would think any of these shows could do like the Tonight Show. Any of these shows with audiences could do like a limited audience, like have capacity and spread people out. Because those shows don't depend on selling tickets for revenue. So, no, I don't know. So, which reminds me, in about 20 minutes, I got to go to a bridge to sell oranges underneath the bridge to make a few bucks. So, appreciate you reminding me of that.
That's about right. You need some
yeah.
zucchini?
I was gonna say. Yes, yes, yes.
Uh,
All right, buddy.
all right, I'll talk to you whenever. Do you like the new opening music?
Yes, I do. I
All right.
like it. Do you like it? You seem
Yeah, no, I
like
like it. As soon as I found it, I'm like, this is exactly what Paul's looking for.
yeah. Well, what do you like the one before that better? Because I was fine with
No, I like this one better. I like this
Okay.
one. As a
All
matter of fact, here it comes now. I think that means we have to leave.
Oh my God!
Isn't
Wait.
that crazy?
Oh, the band is in my bedroom. How does a whole band fit? Hey, buddy,
It's
come
amazing.
on, put the cocaine down. Yes, some people still do cocaine. All right, buddy. I'll see.
I'll talk to you later.
Hey, listen, people out there.
We don't know how to stop. You know that. We don't know how to stop.
My God. Oh, wow. Wow.